Welcome to another episode of The Brand Called You, a podcast and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from thousands of successful individuals from around the world. I'm your host, Ashutosh Garg, and today I'm delighted to welcome for a second time on our show a health tech entrepreneur from Gurgaon, India, Mr. Ajay Poddar. Ajay, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Ashutosh. Pleasure being on this show again.
Thank you. Ajay is the founder of Syenergy Environics, a health and wellness company for correcting natural and man-made emissions to improve the health and productivity of people. They have recently added a personal wellness program, which is non-intrusive and inexpensive. Ajay is also the founder of Wellness at Work, a consolidated offering focused on outcomes. He has a research and development focus, which has led to a path-breaking, easy-to-use solution for sleep, heart, and brain health. So Ajay, last time we spoke about Syenergy and a lot of things that you're doing there. Today we're going to speak at Wellness at Work. Can you start by telling me about your concept and its relevance and effectivity?
So all our work, our services and products, we found that we were trying to explain what are the dangers for people and things like that. And because a lot of problems that we tackle have not been so much in the public discourse, either intentionally or inadvertently, we said, let's focus on solutions. Like they say in Mumbai, apun ke liye kya hai? So we said, let's talk about what does it deliver to people? So we've put it together. It's for various kinds of establishments. It can be called wellness at work. It can be called wellness at home, wellness at hospitality. We've done work where certain things become more important than others, or wellness at healthcare. So it comprises of three things. One is the environmental well-being. So in environmental well-being, there are certain natural energies which emit from the earth, and some of them are negative. When I say negative, that means it's not good for people. And there is also a phenomena called geopathic stresses, which the modern research on this started in the 1940s. But of course, the phenomena has been known for thousands of years. And in India, it was and is still known as Bhumi Dosh or Bhumi Dosham.
Right.
And when you say Bhumi Dosh, then people intrinsically understand what is it that that the ground has some fault. So about 20% of the Earth's surface has got geopathic stress disturbance. So we correct the geopathic stresses and the natural energies which are caused by certain construction phenomena, which is how we capture the elemental balance within our buildings.
Okay.
And so ultimately, we find that at least 30% of people are affected if you take both of these into account without knowing why they are affected.
Okay.
Then we have a lot of our smart homes, smart offices. So we have Wi-Fi routers, boosters.
Yeah.
We have Wi-Fi AC. We have Wi-Fi smart TV. So everything is smart. And that actually also causes a disturbance or distortion in our cellular communication.
Right.
Whatever is there fixed in the environment, that also we correct without sacrificing the use of technology.
Okay.
That is under the bracket of environmental well-being. Digital well-being, we have products like the EnviroChip and the EnviroGlobe, which are patented, well-tested in international scientific and medical institutions and published. And they are used on the mobiles and laptops, as well as for certain space correction. So that comprises of the digital well-being piece. And the personal well-being is something which we introduced recently, about 15 months back, where we found that the other things which we do, people don't get involved. So there is no engagement with the people. So here, this is a US FDA approved software. This is not our patent or our invention, which diagnoses 30 parameters of the body, which are not normally covered in normal health checkups, which cover mental, emotional, and physical health, and things like our vascular function, our autonomic nervous system, and as well as our lifestyle health. So it gives you a score. It gives you a wellness score out of 100. And so we have start with an awareness session, then we do the diagnostic, which is done in 5 minutes. We explain it in 10 minutes to the person. And this is followed up, if they want, by a 100-day wellness challenge, where we do online consultations, send health tips. And after that, they can get themselves checked again. So for the ESG, for people who are doing ESG, large organizations, it's a good measure, because you can report that you have measurably improved the health of. So this is, in a way, a 360-degree wellness program, which is not really available. And we have now about 12,000 data points before and after for our environmental and digital well-being, and more than 2,000 testimonials signed by people to actually tell us how they have been affected.
And this test is completely non-intrusive.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. My next question is, can you help us to understand the significance of bioelectromagnetic fields in personal well-being?
So the body is a bioelectromagnetic field, because all our cells, we know, vibrate. And when you go to the laws of physics, then earlier they used to talk about proton and electron and neutron. And then when they dig deeper, then they said there were streamers, and then they said the body is just a vibration. So the body is, it's just that the density is different. So we have the physical body and the subtle body, and which is also called the aura, but it's all bioelectromagnetic. So if your body is a bioelectromagnetic being, it will actually get affected or can get improved by certain responses or certain stimulus that we either consciously give it or unconsciously give it.
Fascinating. My next question is, how do you incorporate the understanding of the human body as a bioelectromagnetic field into your wellness practices?
So when we talk about the environmental well-being, when we correct the geopathic stresses, we are looking at what is the distortion of the Earth's natural frequency. And our solution, which is called a geochip, for which is different ones for different kind of geopathic stresses or natural energies, are fixed to actually change this vibratory frequency or its flow. Because the energy itself is very strong, because it's flowing from the core of the Earth.
Correct.
So we are basically tweaking it. I don't know if you remember, as children, we used to play with springs. And springs used to be wound a certain way. And then we would just give it a tweak and it would start winding the other way, though it apparently looked hard. Actually, if you change it at the point of transfer of energy, let's say from the ground to the air, and that time you are able to tweak it, then it changes instantly. So that's part of our technology. And so this is how, so we look at it as a vibration. So we don't change the intensity of the Earth, we just change its nature. So we change its bioelectromagnetic nature. Similarly, for the digital devices, we rely on the carrier wave principle. Like in a sea, you have a larger wave carrying a twig or a log of wood for hundreds of miles without actually distorting it. So we generate with our technology carrier waves, which carry the Wi-Fi or the electromagnetic waveforms, which are alien to our body because they are systemic in nature, whereas our body has a random waveform. If you look at it at an ECG or EEG. So what it does is it carries it without distorting its strength or its quality in a random form, which does not interfere with the cellular communication with the body.
Great response. Thank you. And what role do you believe the bioelectromagnetic field plays in emotional and mental health?
So when we are angry, when we are emotionally disturbed, so our body responses, you will find that you are breathing more shallow, you have short breathing, you may be shaking, your color becomes red. So, or you become depressed. So obviously your body is not functioning optimally. The vibratory frequency of the body gets disturbed. So those are the obvious signs, but obviously it does get disturbed.
And can these disturbances in our body also be handled by wellness at work and all the technology you are using?
So wellness at work takes care of two things. The environmental and digital well-being is actually providing you safety against certain kind of distortions. So it can even actually reduce machinery breakdowns because machineries also are connected to the earth with gravity.
Right.
So they assume the same vibratory frequency as the earth, what you call as a hum. If you remember when we used to have the ambassador cars, at certain speed, the whole body would start
Vibrating. Oh, yeah.
and then beyond that, it will again be okay. So there is this phenomena of resonance. So what happens is that when we are addressing this, it can be addressed by the correction phenomena that we do. But so digital and environmental, we take care. But the personal part is where we are telling the person that this is the food that you may need to eat. You need sunshine. I can dwell a little more in detail about what we do. That the person has to do that themselves.
Okay.
So it's a combination of what the organization or what the space can do for you or what the gadgets can do for you, and then what you have to do for yourself.
Well said. And my next question relates to diet and sunshine. How do diet and nutrition, intake of water, sunshine, and other natural laws of wellness affect overall well-being and health?
So sunshine is, as you might have heard, that a lot of people have vitamin D3 deficiency and B12 deficiency. And it's commonly known that you have to take sunshine can correct that, but we don't go out. So if you get the sunshine especially on your back of your neck and your shoulder, say within 90 minutes of sunrise and 90 minutes before sunset for 15 minutes. So it can it can take care of these deficiencies. It can also increase your serotonin levels. Serotonin is a hormone in the body, which is also called the happiness hormone. So you can do it with that. Then you can do with this laughter therapy. So we have something called the nitrous oxide in our body, which is also a good vasodilator. So it's good for our heart. Of course, there are certain foods which can, so things like that. Then there's something like dopamine in the body, which is the stress hormone.
Yeah.
So simple things, how to drink water. Everybody says you drink 2 liters, 3 liters, 4 liters. But very few people tell us, of course, some tell us that you sit and drink water, but they don't tell us how to drink water. So every hour you must drink some amount of water. I'm not a great advocate of somebody gulping 2 liters of water because it tends to wash away certain minerals from our body.
Right.
So like that, food also, like you say that like a lot of people think that sweets are bad.
Yeah.
But in our earlier times, we used to have in most of our, in Rajasthan, I also know in Punjab, in Gujarat, people used to have sweets before or with the meal.
Correct.
Because and of course, not the processed sugar, that's bad in any case. But if you have natural sweets, then it will release the sugar, which will help to digest the food. Whereas if you have it after the food, which is a very Western construct, then it goes straight into your bloodstream.
Right.
And strikes the blood sugar levels.
Correct.
So stuff like that.
Well said. And what scientific research or knowledge system supports the concept of the body as a bioelectromagnetic field interacting with its environment?
So there are a lot of research papers which have been published, but much more needs to be done. And obviously, in ancient civilizations, there was great understanding of this, and I guess a lot of documentation also, which we have lost. So if you look at systems like yoga, like meditation, so basically through the breath and through certain postures, creating elemental harmony in the body, they were looking at the bioelectromagnetic field about harmonizing it. There are also healing practices like Reiki, like Tai Chi. Then if you look at a healing system of homeopathy, so homeopathy is actually relying on potensizing. So as you might know that if you have an arnica, which is there, it uses the same stuff like tobacco will have a tobacco. So it's just the same thing, thing which is there for the disease. You are potensizing it. That means you are putting 1 drop of it in 100 drops of water and shaking it, potensizing it, and then putting 1 drop of that into another 1,000 drops of water.
Right.
So the stronger medicine is the one which has been diluted 30 times and potensized. That's nothing but vibration.
Wow. There's so many new things I'm learning from you today, Ajay. My next question is, can you explain how bioelectromagnetic fields resonate with the environmental phenomena? And more importantly, why does it matter?
So the environment itself is a bioelectromagnetic field. Now the Earth has a frequency called the Schumann frequency. It vibrates at, it has 7.83 hertz is the vibratory frequency of the Earth. So it follows to reason because we are connected to the Earth with the gravitational force. So we are actually one with the Earth. So our willy-nilly, our vibratory frequency is also 7.83 hertz.
Okay.
So it's by the order of things, it's naturally there. I mean, how do you prove that? You know, gravity is there because the apple fell. But today, you know, it's taken for granted that you're not flying off. That's why we are saying that gravity is there.
Correct.
So when that resonance gets disturbed, so which is what we tackle when the Earth's resonance gets disturbed, people sitting or sleeping on top of it get disturbed. So we are trying to actually correct that at the source itself. If it is with the person because of his getting angry or because of his getting diseased or something. So Bihar School of Yoga, the person who was the chief about 50 years back, he said that in less than 50, 60 years, people are going to carry frequency boxes.
Okay.
Because each organ has a specific frequency.
Wow.
And if you can tune in, if you know that I have a weak heart or I have this problem or that problem, you can tune into that frequency and heal it. So it's a very, I mean, we also say to people, now we don't get good vibes with them. So where is the vibes coming from?
Amazing. Amazing. What a great response. Thank you. My next question is, can you share any success stories or one story of improved health or well-being through bioelectromagnetic field optimization?
So there are not one, because as I mentioned, all our products and services rely on this bioelectromagnetic optimization.
Right.
And as I told you, we have got more than 12,000 signed data points of improvement in heart health, improvement in brain health, improvement in attrition, I would not name, but a very large chemical company, when we surveyed them, they had 3 seats where we found that there were a lot of concentration of geopathic stress and routers. And we said, do you have more attrition from these 3 seats? And they said, these 3 seats, whoever comes, they don't stay.
Wow.
The same happened in GVK at the Mumbai airport, where their HR head's cabin had printers and all that placed there. I said, why is this such a nice cabin be used for printers? I said, because all the HR heads who come, they don't stay there. So after we corrected that, we've got responses that about 28% organizations have shown improvement in attrition.
Wow.
About 20% have shown improvement in absenteeism. So when we talk about statistical size, you may have 1 story or 2 stories. Some astrologer's been somewhere, everybody's got a few stories. But those few stories do not make it a scientific phenomena.
Right.
Of course, at a personal level, this vibrational thing right now, we have tested it at Wokhart hospitals, where we have followed a protocol where the regular medical checkups were done, where we checked with our systems, and then we did something called correction of color deficiency. So the 7 colors respond to the 7 chakras of our body, and they are certain frequencies. And when these frequencies get disturbed, we have a problem. So we have a system of curing through giving vibration through certain very specific colors.
Right.
And these were given, and then again their conditions were tested, and in 80% of the cases, they were found to be okay. So the one more story, if there was a head of department in AIMS where he had a blockage in the intestine, small intestine, and he was getting intravenously fed. And then after a week, his wife asked me to have a look. And I said, what can I do? You know, he's the HOD, he's getting the best treatment. So anyway, we found out what was the frequency that was disturbed and gave him that frequency. And I said, in 5 minutes, it showed me that, according to me, he was okay. And I said, I've done what I want. But I got a call, and he was supposed to get a CT scan done at 3 o'clock. And he said, if it doesn't clear still, we have to take you for surgery tomorrow. And at 9 o'clock, he gave me a call and said, they say there's no blockage.
Wow.
So that was pretty dramatic.
Amazing.
But this is still under research. A lot more needs to be done to make it mainstream. And of course, there is a commerce angle also.
Absolutely.
Because it becomes completely inexpensive. So it would hurt a lot of people.
Correct. Well said. So I have time for 2 more questions for you. My next question is, what challenges do people face in optimizing their bioelectromagnetic field, and how, in today's digital world?
So the challenges are that we are surrounded by smart devices and gadgets everywhere. So these emissions are a game of distance. And these distances are specified. We don't actually read the manuals because they are not printed anymore. But if you go to RF safety and RF exposure and this and that.
Right.
So it actually says that there are 4 warnings on the cell phone saying recommended talk time is 6 minutes an hour. Text more than you talk. Always use hands-free. Keep your device 10 millimeters from your body at any given time.
Right.
So even routers, there should be a certain distance when you measure with an EMF meter, probably 7-8 meters you should be away from. So if we can keep those distances, if we can follow that, then it's fine. Then we can take care of it. It disturbs it because it is disturbing our cellular behavior and increasing stress levels, which causes loss of immunity. But if we can't keep the game distances, then we have to go for protection or correction.
Well said. And my last question to you, Ajay, how do stress and emotions influence our bioelectromagnetic field, and how can we manage this?
So as I mentioned, the stress is caused because of nobody says ki stress aa jao. Nobody invites stress.
Yeah.
We do get stressed by so many things. So one of the products which we have invented recently is something called an EnviroCare, which is a wearable in various forms. So that actually vibrates at 7.83 hertz. It's made of certain combination of materials and programmed. So when we wear that, then whenever we get stressed or angry or whatever, when our frequencies get disturbed, it is radiating and trying to get the body back to its optimum frequency. So this is one way. The other way is, of course, deep breathing. Close your eyes. Don't do anything for, it's a great thing once in an hour. For 2 minutes, you just shut off. So, of course, there are many de-stressing techniques and things like that.
Well said. On that note, Ajay, I just want to say thank you for such an amazing conversation. I mean, I've had conversations with you before our podcast in your office. I did the test also, wellness and work. I do have to come back to you for my 100-day challenge and see how I score again.
You scored very well.
I know, but you did tell me I have got to get much better. But, I think just the whole concept of the 7.83 frequency, which matches that of the Earth. I mean, there is so much knowledge in it, and you seem to be doing such amazing work. I'm sure all my viewers and listeners will listen to this very carefully. They will come back to you with, I'm sure, several questions. I loved your tip on water, which is to drink a little bit every hour rather than guzzle down 2 liters first thing in the morning. But thank you for sharing such deep knowledge you have about bioelectromagnetic fields and how they impact each one of us. Thank you again for speaking to me.
Just wanted to say one more thing, that we have a mission of reaching 100 million people.
Wow.
We've reached 20 million so far. And we want your help and the help of all your viewers to just get us connected so that the message can reach people.
Certainly. Thank you and good luck with your mission.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the Brand Called You.